The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico Haan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
That's right, Nico, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and our freedoms. Good morning.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, 76 degrees, partly cloudy, and going up to about 90 degrees. So it's normal summertime
And
stuff.
you know what? Make sure you subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. As you heard at the opening, it's a great newsletter, and it comes out twice a month.
Yeah, and I got a new one right now, and it's all
Hot off the
about
press.
my adventures with Mr. Abel.
And the
Mark
Bigfoot.
Obel, and a big Colorado Bigfoot. So a lot of stuff in there about that, some nice pictures, and a lot of X's, of course. And I have also something about the little drive that we took. And actually, I didn't put it in the newsletter because it's a real long video, but it's about 3.5-hour video. Just look for Nico Haan on YouTube, and it'll come up. It's called Nico and Ellen's Off-Road Adventure at Imogene
Very
Pass.
good.
So lots of other good stuff in there, so please pick that up. And our number here is 877-927-6648. Of course, we need to remind people to please pick up our Primal Edge also.
That's right. Primal Edge, 310 cell-ready, whole food ingredients powered by nature's miracle molecule, fulvic and humic acid, so you can get the good stuff in.
And the bad stuff out. Now, while I was in Colorado, one of the things we did is we went in some of those cannabis shops, and we actually bought some CBDs, which I guess is legal in most states anyway, and most of it, the good ones are made from hemp. So I'd heard about it, I had never tried it, so I thought this was a good opportunity to try it.
Yeah, and let's say they're legal, and but a lot of people get confused because it's like sister plants, the marijuana plant and the hemp plant.
Yeah, the hemp plant is a little bit different because, of course, it was widely used for thousands of years with rope and, of course, with clothing and paper. And the biggest thing was with paper. And I remember distinctly a conversation with a friend of mine about why marijuana in the 1920s or thereabouts was outlawed, and it had to do with the Hirsch family.
It's called big business.
Yeah, it's called big business. So the Hirsch family owned a lot of the national forest. They owned a lot of trees, and they were buying all their hemp from Mexico, and Mexico kept raising the price. So he thought, well, even though paper is not as attractive because we have to use all kinds of chemical with paper, I have all this wood everywhere across the United States. I might as well use that. It doesn't cost me anything. So that's how they pressured the hemp plant and the marijuana plant out, according to that story.
Well, and also, and just to interject, about the same time frame, there was that whole movement, Reefer Madness,
Right,
to
the film.
to create this fear of marijuana, and I think that was really a foreground move to get people scared of it so that the pharmaceutical drugs could come in.
Yeah, and it worked too, because I remember, when I was in high school, the thought of marijuana, ooh, that was no good. Then Vietnam came along, and after I got through with college, my buddies were smoking, so I tried it, and I go, oh, this is nothing like they said it was, But the hemp plant is a little bit different. It does have a little bit of THC in it, but it doesn't activate in the brain. So you don't get that head high, you get more of a body good feeling. And CBD really does make you feel good.
Well, there's a lot of great research on it, and you go, good point, and I think today's a great day. And you put an article in the queue here, CBD oil, its uses, its health benefits, and more. And I think it'll be great because we can cover what CBD oil is,
Right.
the benefits, the legality, the side effects, risks, and how you might use it.
Yeah, so
And
first of all, what the heck is CBD oil? And it's one of the many compounds known as cannabinoids that are found in the cannabis plants. And researchers have been looking at the potential therapeutic uses of this for many years. Oils that contain concentrations of CBDs, they're known as CBD oils, and the concentrations and the uses of the oils vary quite a bit from what I understand. What we got when we were there was this little bottle, I don't know how many ounces, maybe 4 ounces, has 1,500 milligrams, so it's a real good therapeutic strength. And all you do is you put a drop, or if you have a spray bottle, you put like 6 sprays underneath your tongue, let it sit there for 30 seconds, dissolve, and then you can swallow it. And then it's not too long afterwards, you start feeling relaxed. And my personal what I felt from it was just kind of just relaxation.
Takes
and
the edge off a little.
And de-stressing completely.
And I think that's the point I want to make is that you mentioned that CBD oil, mostly hemp-based, has very low THC. Actually, most are at a level that it's not at all psychoactive.
Right.
And as I look at it like the scales, right? You know, the hemp-based CBD oils have low THC and high CBDs,
Right.
very healing.
Right.
Whereas some of the medical marijuana that people are using in the medical dispensaries are marijuana-based, and they're low CBD but high THC,
Right.
or variations in between.
Yeah, I have a friend.
But you'll notice many of
Yeah.
those, if you look at them, they have very low CBDs.
Yeah.
You know, but there's health benefits to
Well,
both.
I found out there they had the THC in like a vape, THC with about 50-50 with the cannabinoids. They also had one that was 15% THC, and the idea behind it is that the THC actually boosts the CBDs 10 to 100-fold, depending on how much THC you have. So
It kind of makes sense because I think the phytochemicals, you know, we know that cofactors and synergists help a whole plant. That's
Yeah.
why it's better to have the whole plant than an isolate. And that's why I like full spectrum CBDs,
Yeah.
you know.
And I think these things affect everybody a little bit differently. I noticed that the friend of mine I was going to talk about, she had said, well, I tried the 50-50 and I really didn't like that edgy THC head. So she said I went down to the 15% and no psychiatric,
Oh, so at 15% they're not feeling it.
Yeah, but it does boost the CBD. So, you know, so let's go on.
But of course, you can't buy those types without a prescription in most
That's
of the
right.
states,
Yeah.
unless you're in one of these other states. We're in Florida, so if you see a medical marijuana center, you can get that.
Yeah.
But for most of us, all over, in each state level, CBDs that come from the hemp plant with low THC, less than 0.3%,
Right.
no psychoactive, or totally legal.
Yes, exactly. So marijuana contains both THC and CBDs, but the compounds have different effects. The THC is known for the mind-altering high it produces when broken down by heat and introduced into the body, as you do when you smoke it or you
cook with it,
in the
right,
food.
right. But unlike THC, CBD, as I said, is not psychoactive. And this means that it does not change the state of the mind or the person who uses it. It does appear to produce significant changes in the body, and it's been found to have just as many medical benefits. We're going to
right.
continue this conversation. We'll be right back after this break.
Yeah, remind you to please pick up our Health Signals newsletter. I got the new one out there all about my trip and other things in there, so take care of that. We'll be right back.
Be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Hey, and welcome back. Nico and I are talking about the health benefits of hemp and CBD and giving you a little information. As I mentioned, there's lots of medical benefits to the CBD compounds. And although hemp and marijuana come from the same species plant, Cannabis sativa, they're actually very different. And this is kind of interesting. Over the years, marijuana farmers have selectively bred their plants to be increasingly higher in THC and other compounds that interest them. They kind of changed the
Smell.
the smell for, yeah, exactly, and the effect, I'm sure. But on the other hand, hemp farmers have not tended to modify the plant, and it is these hemp plants that are used to create CBD oil, what we're seeing across the country, the hemp-based CBD.
So the modification of the marijuana plant ever since the 60s has been going on. And when I smoked it back in the 60s, I really didn't realize there was like the two different kinds, the sativa and the indigo. Indigo being more laid back and relaxed, psychoactive type of things, where the indigo is more...
You mean indica?
The indica, excuse me, is more of a body high and head high together, but they give you lots of energy. They make you more aware.
They seem to affect people differently, though.
They do, yes. And
Yeah, you have to kind of really see which benefit. And I think medical doctors are using the different strains based on people's symptoms. And,
Sure.
and sometimes they have to do a little trial and error of that.
Yeah.
But
Well, if you're looking at one plant and it helps you sleep, but the other one doesn't, it's the same plant, it's just different strains. So you
Right.
really have to know. And that was brought out just in the last 10 years or so that I recall. Before that, we really didn't talk about the different types of high.
Right.
So now we have lots of different plants, and if you go into one of these stores, and we're talking about the THC version of this, there's a lot of different effects.
it's like a
that it can give.
smorgasbord. You get to choose
Yeah,
from.
and now they're blending them all together so you can get very different things. And there's a couple of apps. One is called Leafly. I don't remember what the other one was, where you can actually look these things up and gives you not only how it looks and tastes and how you can buy it, where you can buy it, but the actual effects to most people on it and how intense
Well,
it
let's
is.
talk about how CBDs work, Nico, because all cannabinoids, the CBD, attach themselves to certain cell receptors. We have an endocannabinoid system in our body. And then this is how it produces the effects. The human body produces certain cannabinoids on its own. It's actually in breast milk, see? So we start out producing these. It has 2 receptors for cannabinoids. It's called CB1 receptors and CB2 receptors. And the CB1 receptors are found all over the body, but many of them are in the brain.
Yes, and the CB2 are common to the immune system. They affect inflammation and pain, and this is really part of the real important part that you have to realize, that the CBDs is anti-inflammatory, and it also boosts the immune system. And this is something that's just recently been brought out, from my recollection. And
yeah, so you think about the CB2s as inflammation and pain, and immune system, and CB1 as has to do with helping the brain coordinate movements, pain, emotions, and mood. Think appetite, memories, among other things. Probably that's the one that maybe helps a lot with the epileptic. Well, it's probably both of those.
yeah, the CB2s are more common in the immune system. They affect inflammation and pain. It used to be thought that the CBDs acts on these CB2 receptors, but now it appears that the CBDs does not act on either receptor directly. Instead, it seems to influence the body to use more of its own cannabinoids.
Isn't that beautiful? It's like a reminder. Remember how I always tell you that's what I love about frequency medicine, is it's really designed to remind the body to sing the song.
Well, it kind of reminds me of ketones. The ketones are there to burn, but it also, it's meant to stimulate the burning of your own ketones, your own body fat. So this is very similar to that I see. But this is very interesting that it doesn't work directly on those sensors. It actually stimulates our own CBDs that we have in our body. And remember that Nora Gagata said that the structure of the CBDs in our body, from our brain and elsewhere, is identical to the CBD structure in the marijuana and hemp plant.
It's amazing. By the way, I got an email back from Nora, so exciting.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh,
so
good.
we'll talk about that on the break. Anyways, she listened to our show, and we're sort of brainstorming about maybe we can get her to come down and do a workshop down here in the
That would
winter.
be
So
fun.
let's
That
work
would
on
be
that.
awesome.
Let's put that on our list.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of the CBDs. Because of the way the CBDs act in the body, there are a lot of potential benefits. Number one, natural pain relief and anti-inflammatory properties. Many people are prescribed over-the-counter or even prescription drugs, and there's just such an epidemic of chronic pain.
Yes.
And in our state, an abuse of the
Opiates.
yeah, it's terrible. And so some people feel that CBD offers a more natural way to lower pain and inflammation. There was, in fact, a study in the Journal of Experimental Medicine that found that CBD significantly reduced chronic inflammation and pain in many mice and rats. And it suggests that the 9 psychoactive compounds in marijuana, such as CBD, could be new treatment for chronic pain.
Yeah. The other thing that I didn't realize, that now they're using these for also people with tobacco allergies or tobacco symptoms of being hooked on it. So there's some evidence that CBD use may help people to quit smoking. A pilot study posted in Addictive Behaviors found that smokers who used an inhaler containing the compound CBD smoked fewer cigarettes, but did not have any additional cravings for nicotine.
I wonder if it's just with the inhaled version,
I don't know. I
Interesting.
think both of them would be good. Another similar study found that CBDs may be a promising substance for people who abuse opioids too.
I want to follow up to this, Nico, because there's also popping up, I don't know if you're noticing it, kind of a controversial natural medicine called kratom.
Yes, I have.
And kratom has been very successful for people that have these opioid addictions.
Yeah.
And that's something we can pick up from there. I think that's like next level support.
It makes sense that it's a de-stressor, it's anti-inflammatory, so it takes the stress away, and stress is what you feel when you're coming down off something that you're addicted to.
Yeah, right. And it could actually really help these people get off of these drugs. Here's an area where we really have seen a lot of CBD benefit, is in the area of epilepsy and other mental health disorders.
Yeah, also remember back here it says you're using for sleep. and things like that too. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, anxiety, sleep.
Yeah.
But these other mental health disorders, neuropsychiatric disorders, and, you mentioned Nora. She's been doing neurofeedback for years, and really it's really tuned in on how these things benefit.
Yep.
A review posted in Epilepsy noted that CBD had anti-seizure properties and a low risk of side effects for people with epilepsy. I've seen some pretty impressive videos, online of epileptic children and so forth being administered CBDs, and literally within seconds.
And of course, we're talking a CBD as an oil, so an oil means it's a fat, and we know that ketones also help in seizures.
Mm-hmm.
So the relationship that CBD oil is now a preferred fat, perhaps. I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go along.
Well, here we go. Well, and again, it's found in a natural fat or delivered via a fat mechanism. I mean, it's fascinating. Maybe we need more fats, as we've been saying, to make these phytochemicals do what they do.
I think so, yeah. Okay, we'll be right back, folks. Stick around.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. In the last segment, we were talking about epilepsy and the mental health disorders that are helped by the CBDs. Another study was found in the current pharmacological design, found that CBDs may have similar effects to certain antipsychotic drugs. and may be safe in affecting treating patients with schizophrenia also. So
Yeah, so there you go. But, you know, guys, here's one that gets a lot of attention. CBDs help fight cancer. And how does that happen? It's been studied for its anti-cancer agent, and there's more and more studies coming out every day. There was a review in the British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology that noted that CBD appears to block cancer cells from spreading around the body and invading an area entirely. And it indicated that the compound tends to suppress the growth of cancer cells, and it promotes the death or proper apoptosis of them.
yeah, the researchers note that CBD may help in cancer treatment because of its low toxicity levels. They call for it to be studied along with other standard treatments to check the synergistic effects.
Synergy, and yeah, here we are again with anxiety. I don't know anybody who doesn't have anxiety today. I think in general we are, and I think it's only going to grow because of the 5G and the you know, everything that's going on. I think anxiety is going to be an issue that we're going to see more and more.
Just
as people...
modern living is anxiety because now we have a schedule to follow that's not the sun. It's a different kind of schedule that kind of forces us into these little boxes that we're not really comfortable
Jack Cruz
in.
would be proud of you with you saying that exactly. We got to get back in tune. We have to get our circadian rhythms back in sync. And but patients with chronic anxiety are often advised to avoid cannabis, as THC can trigger or amplify anxiety and paranoia in some people. For me, that does happen. That's why I think,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
But
I think
remember,
I would...
there are strains now that
Yeah, you told me
they
that, so
have
that makes me
no less
interested.
paranoia. Yeah.
Like, for example, of my recent attempts to try strains that have the THC in them, when I smoked it, all I took was one hit of it, and I felt like I was just wasted. I took a little piece of a gummy THC one, and I felt fantastic. Didn't feel anxious at all. But that's why I got to get with you and see if you can help me understand it. But anyways.
Well, I understand the difference between the two. You have to really go to apps like Leafly to really dig into it and find out which
Right,
strains.
and work with a
then,
medical doctor in your state.
yeah, and then
of
you have to
course.
find that strain, which may be difficult too. Even when we were in Colorado, there was only certain things that they had.
Yes.
And I must say, in Colorado, everything is very expensive. I mean, much more expensive than here.
I can only imagine California,
Yeah.
too.
Probably so. So, I mean, the medical marijuana is great, but it is very pricey. The alternative, of course, is the street, and you don't know what you're getting in the street, but it is cheaper, I think, in the street. So,
So
that's
here's
something
some
they
more
have to
stuff
do.
about anxiety in marijuana and CBDs. However, there was a review in Neurotherapeutics that suggested that CBDs may help to reduce the anxiety felt by people with certain anxiety. And this is what we see over and over again. At my clinic, we use hemp-based CBDs
Right.
that are full spectrum, and we're, find that people do experience a decrease in anxiety. And the research that was in this article in Neurotherapeutics pointed to studies that showed that CBD may reduce anxiety and behaviors such as post-traumatic stress, general anxiety, panic, social anxiety, obsessive compulsive. These are the conditions that people are being prescribed, antidepressants, which are serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And guys, all prescription drugs do two things. I've said this so many times.
Yeah.
Block receptor sites and stop enzyme reactions. That's
And maybe
not
get you
good.
hooked on something, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we have a caller on the line. I don't know who it is, but let's take the call and see what's going on here. Hi, caller. How you doing?
Hey, Nico, it's Alan from Largo. How are you
Hey,
guys?
Alan. Good to hear from you,
Alan,
man.
how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. You've got a timely topic for me today. I wanted to pass along if anybody really, I've spent the last 6 days, there's a documentary out right now called The Sacred Plant.
Oh, yes.
And by a gentleman named John Malenka, who produced this. This is the second in the series of it, but I've watched 6 hours of it so far, and it's boggled my mind about, I had no clue about medical marijuana and all the different maladies that they're having huge success with treating, but also because it's in its infancy, it's almost like a hunt and pick kind of thing with different strains and different combinations of strengths, but treating people with MS, with myasthenia gravis, with kids that are, thrown out by the regular medical industry that are having seizures 30 times a day, and man, the stories in it are just amazing.
It's a great documentary. I'm so glad you're watching it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I'm going to do that right away for sure. Have you tried CBDs yourself?
I do. I just fairly recently. It was about 2 weeks ago. I actually ordered some from I did a lot of research trying to get a pure organic one. I found a place in Colorado,
right.
a small family farm. And I ordered some. I haven't seen a huge difference in it, but I don't have huge maladies myself. I have a little bit of inflammation in joints and stuff, so I'm seeing if it helps that.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic, Alan.
If anybody really wants to really dive into it, I mean, one of the things, I don't know how much time you have, but one of the things, cut me off when you want.
Yeah,
one
no
of
problem.
the things that really impressed me, or not impressed me, but just opened my eyes, was the states that are legalizing pot, for recreational use. I think there's 3 states now that have that. I could be wrong with that, but Colorado, Washington, and California recently.
Right, and Washington, D.C.
Yeah, they bring up a valid point. The legislatures in those states have big eyes for money now because they can tax it, and it's huge to be able to do that recreationally. But what it's doing is hurting the medical aspect of it because these smaller farms that work with these doctors to try to develop the formulas that are helping their patients, they're being driven out of the business because it costs $1 million to get a license now in those states, and they can't afford it. And so now big money's moving in. Big corporations are moving in, and big money's moving in for the recreational aspect, and it's really killing the medical aspect.
One thing, I was the guy I met in Colorado that had he had a little roadside stand in this farmer's market, and he says, I come here once a week and sell my CBDs, and then I go back to my cabin and make the CBD oil. So he's a little entrepreneur that's doing it by himself, but it's with the hemp plant, so it's a little bit different because there's not as many regulations for that. But with the THC plant, yeah, no doubt about it.
Well, how about that news, guys? Alan, you saw the news that the country of Canada has totally legalized marijuana. That was last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I think you're right. There's going to be a lot of good things coming, and maybe some things that will be roadblocks or stumbling blocks. But what I do like about it is we're moving towards a medicine that's produced by the earth versus something synthesized.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of people with great results.
Absolutely.
I mean, I see it all the time. I call it CBDs kind of the incredible shrinking women. A lot of men and women in my group that have used them lose their inflammation and just drop a lot of weight. Alan, thank you for calling us. It's always good to hear from you.
Thanks, Alan.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
After the break, we'll be right back,
The
folks.
sacred plant.
Yeah.
Check that out, guys.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
So we're talking about the powerful benefits of CBD, and as I mentioned earlier, there's two things that pharmaceutical drugs do. They block enzyme reactions, and they block cell receptor sites. And, you know, we've talked about how these cannabinoids go into the cell receptor sites. They turn things on. And here in this article, it says, the review notes that current medications for all of these disorders often lead to additional symptoms and side effects. Wonder why everybody who's on one drug ends up being on 10?
Yeah, and that people may stop taking the drugs because of the unwanted effects. And the other thing is, too, of course, then they can get hooked on it, too.
Exactly.
And CBD has not shown any adverse effects in these cases to date, and the researchers called for CBD to be studied as a potential treatment method.
And this is interesting, guys. Let's talk about some other disease states that may be candidates for a CBD solution. Type 1 diabetes is actually caused by, you guessed it, inflammation. And when inflammation is when the immune system reacts and attacks the pancreas. I really don't like that. Remember, our immune system, our creator did not create a confused immune system. Instead, the immune system is brilliant, and it's going after an effective agent that's causing the inflammation, and the pancreas just happens to be collateral damage. So let's get that straight.
Yeah, sure.
But recent research posted in to Clinical Hematology and Microcirculation found that CBD may ease the inflammation in the pancreas in type 1 diabetes. And this might be the first step, Nico, in finding a CBD-based solution for type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, and when we were out in Colorado, he had this little spray bottle of, I think, 40 milligrams, that or 400 instead of the 1,500. So it's not as strong, but you can just spray it. And it's made for, what they're talking about next is acne. So this is made for skin conditions, brown spots, things like that. You just spray a little bit on, rub it in, it's done, and it works.
And that's very interesting. A bunch of the women that I work with, that we're in kind of a group, we've been putting it in our facial treatments.
Okay.
Because it is good for the skin.
Right.
And Alzheimer's disease is another one. Initial research published in the Journal of Alzheimer's disease found that CBD was able to prevent the development of social recognition deficits in the subjects.
Yeah, and this means that the CBDs could potentially prevent people in early stages of Alzheimer's from losing their ability to recognize the faces of people that they know. This is the first evidence that CBD has potential to prevent the Alzheimer's disease or dementia later on.
That's right. So let's talk now about the legality. What is, let's figure this out. I think a lot of people are still confused. I think we're all a little, not sure exactly
Yeah, because I
what's
thought
going on.
hemp was just across the board legal everywhere. And it tends to be legal in most states. I think it's 46 states, but not completely.
Well, the problem we've got is that we're saying states,
Right.
but there's still federal regulation.
Yeah.
That federal government, get out of our
Well,
way.
this is why
You're not supposed to be
it's such
involved in all this stuff anyways.
It's such a big deal when you mention that Canada's going, and they just voted on it. I think it's October 17th,
Right.
the magic day that it all happens. But one of the things that, in reading about this, I noticed this is the first case where the country is looking at CBDs and hemp and THC, the whole plant, as a health issue,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
beneficial health issue. So we're not talking about putting people in jail. We're not talking about
How many
taking this
people
away.
are serving ridiculous prison sentences because of marijuana?
they are.
I mean, we need to get the federal government out of this and
Well,
just set our
remember,
states.
if you let all those people out, now we have a problem with not enough jobs. So, so it's a two-edged
It's
sword.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
so legality from legality, cannabis is legal for either medicinal or recreational use in some but not all states. Other states approve CBD oil as a hemp product without approving the general use of the marijuana plant extracts.
Yeah, laws may differ between federal and state level, and current marijuana and CBD legislation in the United States can be confusing, even in states where marijuana is legal.
So you always need to check with your own state. There is an ever-changing number of states, though, thank goodness, that do not necessarily consider marijuana to be legal, and some that don't consider it to be illegal, but have laws directly related to CBD oil. This information is up to date as of July 2017, but the laws are changing.
In fact, they're having, I think in the primaries today, they're having 2 states that are voting on recreational and medical marijuana, too. I don't recall which states they are, but there is more and more states getting involved in this. And I just hope that the federal government should step in right now and just say, okay, let's let these people
step out, actually.
Step out,
Step
exactly,
out, not
yeah.
step in, but step out and say, you know what, you states do it.
Yeah.
And take away the classification of marijuana as a class drug that needs that's serious. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
the problem, I think, with the federal is that not only federal but states also have mandated that you get a certain amount of money by putting people in jail. So the federal government does boost the states and the counties. If you have people in jail at a certain level, you get federal funding. So this is going to put a hamper in that, and maybe they should come up with a different method and not reward states for locking up people.
So really, if you are considering CBD oil as a treatment for a suitable condition, talk to your local healthcare provider. They will have an understanding. Well, we would hope that they would. Hopefully they're getting up to speed. I mean, I don't know.
I've talked to a couple of people that went to clinics here, and the doctors, now the clinics themselves where they dispense it.
I'm
have quite
not
a bit
saying
of,
the clinics, though, Nico. I mean,
I'm talking
it's
about the
telling-
doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctors who are making those prescriptions out really don't know a lot about it.
Most of them are still scared to do it. That's what I'm saying. Do not, I'm going to disagree with this article. Seek out a
Somebody who's
CBD, an
knowledgeable.
endocannabinoid system educated practitioner of whatever type that is. Your medical doctors most likely may not be up to speed, and you have to seek out the people that have, so you can do it, because
Now, this is a good opportunity for the federal government and the state governments to say, hey, all you people in jail, here's an opportunity. Let's let you guys distribute the stuff, since you're good at that, and you probably have some knowledge on it. I mean, there could be a way of doing something like that, I would think, but it's
So-
not the way America works, I guess.
no. So if we look at the side effects, there's small-scale studies have looked into the safety of CBDs in adults and found that it's well tolerated across a wide range of doses and for a wide range of effects. And there's been no significant side effects in the central nervous system or effects on vital signs or mood for people who use it even just slightly, or heavy users. That's a good point. And the most common side effect is tiredness. Some people have noticed changes in their bowel habits and appetite or weight. But there's still very long-term safety data is still not quite at the level that they'd like to see. But then again, who's going to do it unless it's going to be funded by the people who benefit?
The people
And
I've
the
talked
drug company does not benefit from
Yeah,
this.
the people I've talked to that actually dispense it, these individuals out in Colorado, had quite a bit of knowledge about this, and they do tell you to start with small doses. You know, he says, well, he says, have you used it before? I said, no. He says, have you smoked marijuana before? Yeah. He says, well, you can probably take a bigger dose than your wife, who's really hasn't smoked marijuana in 40 years or something. She did when she was a kid, I guess. But
Well, this is an interesting point, too. I want to make this. The United
not
States...
a kid, but a teenager.
Yeah, the FDA has not approved CBD for the treatment of any condition. That's no surprise. But, you know, there is one concern. You really don't know what you're getting. There's a lot of people coming out to get into this marketplace. You want to work with reputable suppliers, and that's something that, you know, we'll talk about when we get back.
Yep. Stick around, folks.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Welcome back to our last segment, and now we're going to describe how to use this. And,
That's right.
We're not really experienced with this, but the method that I used was putting a little bit under the tongue. Little spray bottle, 6 sprays is one unit, I guess.
Well, that's the key thing. You know, this particular brand that you and I are using, and we're going to perhaps come out with a little special for you guys so you can try it and save money doing that. But you really have to read. It can be tricky, you know. There can be people who are selling CBD oils, but when you really analyze the milliliters and want to take an effective dose, you end up, you know, taking half the bottle just to get the right amount of milligrams. The key is taking the proper amount of milligrams to get the effect. And so let's, because you can actually have it as an oil to take under the tongue.
Right.
You can mix it into food. You can use it as sort of a paste, a wax paste that's mixed into skincare,
Right.
and apply it topically. But here are a few recommended dosages, and they may vary based on an individual, and of course, work with a knowledgeable practitioner on this. And but these dosages are related to when you take the CBD by mouth. For example, chronic pain, take between 2.5 and 20 milligrams by mouth. Now, that's so for example...
so that's a high dosage.
That's actually not a real high dosage. That actually, I think that's kind of a low dosage.
Okay.
For example, the brand that we have that we're going to share with our listeners, we really like, and if you get our newsletter, we're going to give you a coupon where you can save money trying it. It's about getting a physiological dose. With the 6 pumps under the tongue, you're getting 50 milligrams.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're getting 2.5 times what
Okay.
this chronic pain. Epilepsy, consume between 200 and 300 milligrams
lot,
of
yeah.
CBD by mouth daily for up to 5 months. Now stop and think about that. So many people are buying these CBDs and they think they're, when I really analyze them, they're like, the dose that they're telling you in that bottle for 30 days, you're only getting 2 milligrams a day. Go on, let's see, sleep disorders take between 40 and 160 milligrams.
Right.
Glaucoma, 1 dose of between 20 and 40 milligrams applied under the tongue can help to relieve pressure in the eye.
Schizophrenia, consume between 40 and 1,280 milligrams of CBD by mouth daily for up to 4 weeks.
So, folks, see, these dosages are very safe, but it just goes to show you could actually spend a fortune if you're buying stuff that's heavily diluted. You want to work with someone that has a product that gives you a physiological dose.
Yeah,
and
in
I've
fact,
been really analyzing
Yeah,
that.
you were talking about somebody that you knew had 400 milligrams, and we know that the optimum dose, which is the real strong one, was 1,500. So if you've got the little bottle of 400, you have to take a lot more than the
Yeah, it's not going to
1,500.
last you. You're going to have to buy 3 bottles of that
Yeah.
400 milligram to equal that 1,500.
Yeah, and the guy in Colorado talked about that little 400 milligram was what he was using as a topical spray for the acne.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as strong, but you don't need as much.
Or
because
you
you're not
could just
taking-
use 1 pope. You got to look at the.
Yeah.
So you take the milligrams posted on the bottle and divide it by the milliliters on the bottle. So a 1,500 milligram bottle that's in a 30 ml. Divide 30 into that.
Right.
And that you get 50 milligrams per
Right.
serving.
That makes sense.
But and that's how you can really compare that. The snake oil. If people are trying to sell you a bottle that you're like, take 15 drops and you only get 10 milligrams of CBD.
Right.
That's bottles. You're going to blow through that.
Right.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right.
So anyway, this is very interesting, and I've been on it for about a week and a half now. My wife has too. Very positive results so far. So we'll see how it goes. And we're just taking that 6 little pumps for about 50 milligrams.
Yep. We're going to give listeners a coupon where you can save $50 on a bottle.
Yeah, I'm going to get that all together in the next couple of weeks. So I think
Maybe we'll bring it up tomorrow or Thursday. We can at least give them a link.
that's it.
Okay. Guys, we'll see you. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for sticking around. Have a great day.
Stay
Take
healthy.
your CBDs.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.